STPL.
Hello guys and welcome to today's STPL. We're starting off week 4 today. Just to go through this again, if people haven't seen the STPL before, all the games outside of the final are a best of 5, set 1 to 4, all played at the same time with lineups selected and announced in advance. And set 5, if they do make it, tying up 2 to 2, is the ace match. Every player can compete again, including someone who hasn't played in the clan war before, so it's usually someone who's been playing in the clan war because they're already around, so it's all good. Map pool, we've got Hitchhiker, Monty Lessie, Core Breach, Tripod, Andromeda, Byzantium 3, Fancy 2, and La Mancha, and honestly, so far, I think this has probably led to the best games out of all the STPL seasons. Like maybe I'm a little bit biased, but if you don't know who I am, I'm Kix. Sorry about the lack of green screen again. I'm being incredibly lazy, and my green screen isn't very good anyway. So rather than waste time putting it up, I thought I'll just go without. You also get a glimpse of Lottie behind me as well, although you don't get to see much of that. Now, let's have a look at the team rankings so far. We're not too far in. There are some teams that have only played 2 of their games so far as well due to the bye system. Each week someone gets a bye because we have an uneven number of teams. But Seoul leading the pack already with a +10 difference. Valhalla team doing very well as well. IRK doing well. aSh doing well. Eternal Friends doing well. Rev doing well. NetWars doing pretty good as well. White Clan not doing so well so far, losing 2 of their matches, very uncharacteristic of them, and unfortunately Red, Bull, and DM all have lost their series so far, but we are going to see Red a little bit later on against Bull. I think that's our second series today. No, that's actually on Friday, so at least one of them will put a win on the table, which is super important. And let's have a look at the 2 teams we're going to be looking at start us off today. Starting us off is going to be Eternal Friends. As I mentioned last week, they had a bit of trouble. They've got past it. Their roster is mostly the same. And we've actually got some really, really strong players here. Now, that should actually be Bruzago, first of all. So if I change that and click that button, have a look at that. Switches immediately. And so we've switched it. Someone's asking me in chat why the 6 and 7 is above 6 and 6. That could be due to match score. I can check that out afterwards, so I'm not going to have a look at that now. But they got Cruzago, Terra, Gosudark, and Shaylin, all very good players. Especially Terra, I would definitely say is their star player in this season. Looking forward to see how he's going to perform. And then on the other hand, we have aSh, also a very strong team. They've lost the one time they played against each other, but we've got a new addition to the roster today, which is a little bit off-center as the flag from Croatia with... Desakwe? I have no idea how to say that name, but... we're going to have that fun when we come to cast this game. But all the players on on aSh, doing pretty well so far. Looking forward to seeing how they're going to play. We're going to have Dreamer, Radley, Desarque, and Hit 'em Up. And Metaphysics in chat saying Desarque, which really doesn't help me whatsoever because I can't say the first part. Oh, this is going to be fun. It's amazing. Apparently Edgewood saying people used to call him Lockdog or something. That is, okay, he's saying Zakve? Zakve? I could probably do that, but that's probably wrong. But Lockdog is probably a better name, I guess, for me to try and pronounce. Let's have a look at the lineups and matchups we're going to have today. We're going to start off with a PvP. We're going to move into a TBT. We're going to move into another PvP. And then we're going to go into a ZBT. So lots of mirrors in this matchup. But when you take into account who two of the players are against each other, we have the one, the only, the Peruvian powerhouse Terra against the Ghost King Radley. That should be an incredible TVT on Monty Hall SA. And that's really, really cool. Looking forward to seeing that game. Ghost to Dark versus Zakve. I'm not really too sure how that's going to go because I've never seen him play, but apparently he is an old SAS member called Lockdog. Chaylin versus Hit 'em Up should be quite good as well. Hit 'em Up's TVZ is pretty good. Chaylin's ZBT is really good as well. And Cruzago and Dreamer. Cruzago hasn't played too many games in the STPL so far, but the ones he have been a little bit weird, and Dreamer always ends up in these really long macro PvPs for some reason. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that's going to go. Let's have a look at the players. We have Cruzago's only game so far was on Hitchhiker. It was a win for him, so not too much to say there. And Dreamer, once again, I mention this every time, but started off as one of the captains of MSJ, moved over to aSh when MSJ dropped out the tournament, and ever since he's been doing really, really well. Looking forward to seeing how he's going to do in this PvP. Pretty damn good. So it looks like Edgewood has got a thing of sail saying Zakve, so let's...
Top left as the yellow Protoss will be Desarque.
Desarque, okay, that sounds even worse. I don't know. But either way, I guess we'll figure it out when we get to it. Let's have a look at the map they're going to be playing on. It's going to be Fantasy 2. Now, we've only had one PvP here so far. It was actually a pretty cool game. 13 minutes, 39 seconds overall. And pretty good map. If you've never seen this map before, it may look a little bit strange. Top right is Nostalgia, bottom right is Ride of the Valkyries, bottom left is Sin Game Eagle 1, and top left is Legacy of Char. It's a mix of 4 different maps all put together for your viewing enjoyment. It's very, very fun. The games on here have actually been amazing so far, so I'm looking forward to seeing how we're going to go. As we get into this PvP, it is Dreamer versus Cruzago. Okay, the game has begun, and down here in the bottom right hand corner we do have the red Protoss player fighting for aSh. It's Dreamer. And his opponent spawning down here in the bottom left in the blue, fighting for EF. It's Cruzago. Or Cruiser. Cruiser's actually easy to say. I should probably update his name in the database. Now, one thing I would like to bring up once again is if you want to submit a cheerful to the STPL, you can do so by going to this thread, checking out the template, checking out some of the other submissions, and then you can go for it. It's really cool. We've had some really, really fun ones made by Lucky Noob so far, as well as other people. Obviously, Lucky Noob has kind of gone a little bit crazy with all the graphics. They look absolutely amazing, but I guess it must feel a little bit hard to live up to what he's made. But still, it doesn't matter how good they are. Submit something. I will show it on stream if it looks good. Well, not if it looks good, but if it's not rude. If it's rude or it's cursing me like Cadenzi's one, I'm never going to show that one off. Okay, we've got 2 gateways coming up for Cruzago, 2 gateways coming up for Dreamer. Now, the interesting thing about this map you may not be able to see just by looking at the mini-map is that rush distances on this map are deceptively long. They look a lot smaller than they actually are. So both players are going for 2 gate to kind of push each other very quickly. And especially because it is quite hard to expand here, it leads into that aggressive style. But I don't think this is really going to end the game. I think this is going to be... It's at least going to make it to the mid-game, I would say. It's going to be very, very unlikely someone is going to die within the first 6 minutes. So both players continuing to add on Zealots. No gas for either player just yet. Neither player has actually scouted each other either. Now, I would say Cruiser is about to get a little bit of an advantage, although he doesn't necessarily know that his opponent isn't just late scouting. We've got gas coming up for Dreamer, whereas Cruiser still has not got his, opting for the additional pylon first. Now we've actually got Dreamer cutting Zealots here, so that's how he is able to get the Assimilator, able to get the core, and actually not lock himself out. Now the first Zealot from Cruzago pushes up, knows he cannot get into the base, and this is where we should see him cut Zealots. He definitely shouldn't be making any more. We see him going into the Assimilator, he should be going into the core fairly soon after. And here's where I say we'll probably get into a more normal PvP. Now Cruzago being a little bit clever, trying to mine out this, but unfortunately for him, it does mean that he's got to go around the long way to go for a scout. He also doesn't get the full benefit of those minerals either. Yeah, Cruzago's from Chile. I forgot to update the database. Okay, so this probe gonna come in. Looks like we do have a little bit more aggression coming out here from Cruiser, but I believe that Dreamer should be just transitioning out of this fairly soon, so he should be fairly fine. Cybernex Horror is coming up. We've got a Robo coming in here for Dreamer. Now, Dreamer did cut Zealots here, which is going to be a little bit problematic, especially if he can get 5 Zealots up here, but looks like it's going to be 5 versus 5, so given the choke point, I think Dreamer should win this fight, but he does need to be careful. Doesn't want to overcommit. We've got a pylon here to come help wall this off, which is probably going to hurt the Dragoons a little bit later on. And this is why pushing up the ramp is not going to work out here for Cruzago. You'll see that he's always going to be fighting 2 versus 1. Looks like both players kind of microing back and forth. Let's check the health on all of the Zealots. We can actually do that by doing this. I mean, it looks like Dreamer should hold his ramp here. I don't think Cruzago is going to be able to get in. And oh, look at that pullback by Dreamer, saving his badly damaged Zealots. Really, really nicely done. Only losing 2 Zealots so far, 3 Zealots, 4 Zealots, 5 Zealots. All of the Zealots go down in quick succession. And Cruiser is able to get into the main. Now, can he do any damage to the probe line? 1 probe has gone down. 2nd probe. Oh, only 2 probes, and Dreamer is still at a supply lead, but that's with the Dragoons. There's actually a 5 supply lead of workers now for Cruzago, and this is pretty damn good. Now a 3rd gateway coming in here from Cruzago. This is when you notice in PvP, the more aggressive players sometimes make the wrong decision. He's going 3 gates to try and overpower his opponent with units. But what he doesn't realize, I mean, he should know, right? He saw the Robo. Like, he should know that he needs to tech behind this, because if you do not tech... Ah, there we go, yeah, the Robo's coming up. I was going to say, if you don't tech against someone going Robo and they just get Reavers and you don't, it's pretty much game over. So, luckily enough, we're not going to have that this game. Now, Dreamer is actually going to expand. Now, this is something I definitely didn't expect to see this early, especially on this spawn. But let's see if he can make it work. Now both players are kind of in a position where they don't know what their opponent's doing. Dreamer has an idea that Tech's coming, which is why he's sitting back at home. He's worried that Dreamer is possibly going to go for an early attack with the Reaver, but he's going to find out eventually that there is an Observer here, so at that point he should move down his ramp and get ready to expand. Now, one benefit the Ride of the Valkyrie spawn actually has is while the ramp is behind the natural, it's actually quite easy to defend this area, whereas if you get stuck on your ramp here, your natural is 100% dead. You are very, very far behind. Now, Probe is moving out, gonna see if his opponent is expanding. He actually does get vision, but not of the minerals, so I don't know if he would have been able to see a Nexus there or not. But the Reaver is out now. He's gonna move that forward for defense. Now, support bay is done for both players. Looks like we're actually going to have a shuttle first coming in from Cruiser. So he is going to be able to, I was going to say he's going to be able to harass quicker, but looks like it's going to be shuttle before second Reaver. But the longer this game goes on, Dreamer is actually going to start to get a big advantage. As long as he keeps adding on probes, his economy is going to be astounding. Now, that was definitely a wasted Scarab, but we'll take those. Now, the other benefit Dreamer will actually have is his third mineral only it's a little bit closer. Well, it's further away from his opponent for one, so Reavers aren't going to be able to get there as easily. And you can also, like, you can defend it from sitting up here, which also defends your natural and your main. Now, the one problem that the Sin Gamer Go On spawn has is the mineral only is up here, and if you take that, you're going to have trouble defending against Reavers, so I do wonder if we'll see Cruiser eventually expand up here, but I'm talking nonsense because it's PvP, and third bases just aren't a thing. Let's have a look. Observer going to be seeing everything that's going on, even going to be able to see this shuttle picking up a Reaver and flying off. I'm not sure if he would have seen that on the map. But if he can get in a position to defend against this, he's going to be good, but it's going to be high ground versus high ground. There's going to be no major benefit to either player. Now, both players do have Reavers here, which makes this a little bit harder. But are we going to see Dreamer overcommit? That is the big, scary thing in this game. Now, the rush distance in these spawns is actually pretty short. It's definitely longer if you're top right going to top left, but Observer going to come out here, see all of the army. Let's see how he splits. He's going to try and move down with his Reavers. Wants to get a couple of Scarabs off before his opponent can shoot. Oh my god, he actually gets a Scarab off on the Reaver, kills a Reaver. That's actually a massive move in PvP to be able to get those Reavers, but one of the Reavers of his, I thought it had fallen, but it has been picked up. Looks like he is going to lose the engagement, though, but the Scarabs at the end, so powerful, but he's lost his shuttle. This is what you see, is what you get here for Dreamer. It looks like some reinforcements going to be coming in here from the high ground, may help him be able to hold on here, and both players actually traded pretty evenly. The only major difference was losing the shuttle, but obviously with the reinforcement distance being so small for Cruzago here, that's actually going to benefit him a lot. Looks like Dreamer going to give up the high ground position for the time being and get ready to defend a little bit lower down. Needs to wait for a Reaver to come in, needs to wait for a shuttle. Now, 5th gateway coming up here for Dreamer. We've still got 2 gates for Cruzago. Another couple of, 3 gates, another 2 coming in. So both are going to go up to 5. Both players getting ready for drop defense, just keeping an eye out where their opponent's units are. Even a cannon coming up here in the middle line. This means he's likely going to be going for +1 attack very soon as well. Both players, where they've traded pretty evenly as well, are in very similar situations. It means both players are likely going to be able to expand to a 3rd, which is, as I mentioned, not really something you see in a PvP. Okay, and then what else is going on? Not too much. Both players just getting ready to expand again. I mean, both are scouting around, making sure there's no hidden bases or anything. Very important to do in PvP. The amount of PvPs I've seen lost at the pro level because they just didn't scout a hidden third is actually quite ridiculous. Both players just kind of maxing up here. Another observer coming out for Dreamer as well. Dreamer definitely using a lot more observers here than Cruiser is. Now that does give him obviously the benefit a little bit later on, but for now it means he's actually one Reaver down on his opponent, I believe. No, it looks like he didn't get a second Reaver either. Reaver, yes he did. So it's going to be 2 Reavers against 1 for the current time being. No second Reaver coming in just yet, which means in the next engagement, Cruiser is actually going to have a big advantage. Now you can really see just how actively Dreamer is using his observer here, just keeping an eye on absolutely everything. He's even going to see the army positioning. He'll see the Reaver away from the shuttle. Now I wonder if that will prompt him to maybe push forward or at least go to expand. Looks like he is going to break through the minerals to be able to expand to his third base. Now, as I mentioned before, this third base is a lot harder to defend against drops, but this base is a lot harder to defend against pure ground, and pure ground is what Cruiser is looking to be going for here. Now, the probe going to come up here, confirm that the army is in fact in position, doesn't want to send his observer in first, just in case it gets sniped. Now, we did have a Citadel up here. Yeah, we do have Storm coming in here for Dreamer, which is pretty good. He's got +1 attack coming in as well. We've got the Citadel here for Cruiser as well, but it's very, very late in comparison. This means his Zealots are not going to be as strong as quickly. And also, he has no Forge, so Dreamer is definitely going to have the macro advantage a little bit later on. Now, if we have a look at that third Nexus as well, it's a lot quicker than his opponents. And I mean, Cruiser has an opportunity to go for a big timing attack here, but the longer he waits, the harder it's going to be, with Storm finishing, with +1 finishing as well. And with a lot more gateways being added on, which he can support now with the third base, he is going to be in trouble. Now, the one good thing going for Cruzago is he's hiding, well I say hiding, he's expanding to a gas base. Now gas, an incredibly important resource, more so in PvP and TVT than ZVZ, just because ZVZ is solo economy anyway. But getting a third gas base over a third mineral base is actually massive. Now Dreamer actually mistransferred his workers there, unless he transferred them a little bit too early. Now, is that really +2 attack? No, it is just +1. I was gonna say, I don't think that's +2 attack, that would be crazy. Now, Zealot moving out here, confirming where his opponent's army. Oh my god, the mischance on that Zealot. This is one lucky Zealot, oh my goodness. Well, not anymore. Now both players still just teching up. Looks like there finally is a Templar Archives coming in here for Cruzago. Now that actually makes it harder, because when you both have Storm it makes it very difficult to push forward. Now when we look at the base layout, the next easily expandable base for Dreamer is another mineral only. He is going to have to spread out a long way to get another gas base. And this is why this base from Cruzago is actually really sensible. Now this is a very droppable base. Looks like we've got Dreamer getting ready to take the top right hand main. But there is a Zealot coming up here to confirm this. And if he sees this, I mean, Dreamer's units are not in the right place. The army, even though they're at similar supplies, it just doesn't seem anywhere near as big. Even though they're exactly the same supply, other than 3 workers or 2 workers. But look at this, it looks like Dreamer is going to move into a position to defend this base. But moving into this position, he's putting himself in a choke point coming down this ramp. Let's have a look at this engagement in its full glory. There's actually a lot of Reavers at the top. I can't even fit all the armies on the screen. This is crazy. But looks like Storm on top of the Reaver going to be able to take one out. There is a lot of units coming in from the bottom flank, though. The convex of Dreamer is not great. The Zealots are not in a position to engage. Storm moving out as well. One of the Reavers is alive, 2 of them for Cruzago, but the Zealots and everything going to run around the back. It looks like Dreamer's army is just getting decimated here, but the Storm on the high ground doing a ton of damage. But is this just too much for Cruzago? It looks like we've got more reinforcements coming in, but he's going to be forced back. And after that engagement, we see Cruzago with an 18 supply lead, which is pretty damn cool. That was a really, really nice engagement by Cruzago, though, and that means he is going to be able to push forward and go onto this high ground to take out this base. We've got a lot of cannons coming in here, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to hold on. Is Dreamer going to try and move in and surround this army? It's going to be tough, but looks like he does want to try and do it. Maybe he wants to go for a counter-attack here. He knows all of his opponent's army is in the top right-hand corner. 2 observers up here scouting the Nexus. They definitely want to be closer to home. But let's have a look. It looks like it is going to be a counter-attack. Now, this is actually a massive moment in the game. The Storm retreating, definitely making this a little bit easier. But DT's coming in. There's no observer. With no observer. Oh, Storm on the probes! So much devastation going down on that mineral line. 14 kills! That's a massive move by Dreamer here. But Cruzago's army, it's just so big. His supply advantage is massive. There's no observer. He's got no way of dealing with these DTs. And it looks like his army at the front is going to pull down. He obviously still does have his 3rd base, but that's even going to be under contention here. I mean, that storm drop was massive. Maybe Dreamer thinks his opponent is still on 3 bases and probably feels pretty, or thinks he's still on 2 bases and probably feels pretty amazing at the moment, but he is in such a bad position now, at least gas-wise. You can even tell from the gas banks, like both of them, I mean, they're not really remaxing very quickly. Like Cruzago not building consistently off of all his gateways. But, I mean, that round actually used up all his money, so I suppose I just don't understand Protoss macro. But Cruzago using this opportunity to get a 4th base at another gas base. And, I mean, the longer this goes on, the better it's getting. I mean, Dreamer has a massive upgrade lead. He had it, I think, for that engagement. And Cruz's not even building. He's not even going for +1 attack. He's just going for +2 armor. This is kind of crazy. It's only 0-1. 0-0-1 here for Cruzago. Like, I don't understand this. Now, Dreamer, as someone rightly points out in chat, needs to make sure he can expand again. But I don't know how he's going to be able to. The only base he can take is another mineral only. If you're going mass Zealot, you are going to get absolutely destroyed. Look how many DTs there are! He has 6 DTs in this army. He knows his opponent has been lax on observers, and he is just absolutely going crazy. Now, what would actually be really sick for Cruzago to do here is to go for Dark Archons and get a load of feedbacks down. If he can feedback all of the High Templar of Dreamer, it's going to kill them all. And Storm is going to be worthless, and Storm is going to be the only real tool that Dreamer has that he can win this engagement with. His units, his army comp, it's just not big enough. Now here we go. Looks like we are going to have one of these High Templar moving forward to try and go for a Storm, but he is going to pull back. Okay, so the 4th base is up and running. The 4th gas is coming in now as well. Looks like we're about to get ready for another big engagement. We are slowly starting to mine out here for Dreamer, which is going to make this very difficult. Of course, both players going to be mined out of their main. The natural coming close as well. But don't forget, Cruzago still has this easy to take base he can steal as his 5th base here. And Dreamer, he's still locked away from getting another gas base. I just don't understand how he's going to expand. He's moving up towards the top right. He's going to get spotted by this Dragoon. And even if he manages to build the Nexus up here, how does he defend it? He's just not in a position with his army. His army is 20 supply down. And he just can't hold on, I don't think. His upgrades are crazy. He's at 2-1. He's about to get 3-1. Don't engage yet, Dreamer. You need to wait. And this is 0-0-1. That's all it is. 0-0-2 about to finish. But these upgrades are so in favor of Dreamer. Looks like Dreamer is going to be forced to take an engagement before he wants to. +3 attack is not done. This is an anti-timing here for Dreamer as he moves forward. He gets a couple of storms off, but I can never tell whose storm is whose. He definitely does not want to push into this. His +3 attack is not done. This is the worst possible timing. He could have moved in, but he feels pressured. He feels like he needs to expand. And can he do it? The storms have been good. The Archons, though, there's just so many of them. The Zealots all surviving. These High Templar in the back just not doing anything. Some with Storm Energy needs to use the Storms. But the upgrade advantage is massive here. 3-1 does finish in the middle of this engagement. And he does hold on against Cruzago's army. This is such a crazy thing here. But looks like the Zealots gonna hold strong, and it's gonna kill the rest of Dreamer's army. Now Dreamer is running low on minerals. His army is much smaller. The reinforcements just not in a position to come in here. The DT's doing so much damage in that engagement, and Dreamer still unable to take a 4th base. Now Dreamer getting ready to push out again. Of course, remember guys that his upgrade advantage is crazy. The fact that Cruiser never actually went for any attack upgrades is pretty big, but neither player going for feedback is actually kind of tilting me. But looks like we are going to have a big engagement coming in from Dreamer here, getting ready to push forward into Cruzago. By moving into this position here, he's going to be able to get a Nexus. Holding this high ground is actually incredibly important. If he sends all of his units up to deal with one single Dragoon, this is actually going to be an awful position. Now, this Dragoon is so close to killing this Nexus. If he had 2, that would have died. But looks like he is going to pull himself out of position. And if Cruzago realizes this, he should take this position immediately, because it means for Dreamer's army to get back, he has to go through 2 bridges and then up a ramp, and that is not what you want to do. And that's exactly what Cruzago is going to do with this move. I feel he's going to checkmate his opponent. Dreamer needs this base. He needs to hold this position, but by being here, he's locking himself away from his main. And it looks like Cruzago, for some reason, is going to choose to fight on the bridges. He doesn't want to let his opponent come to him. Maybe getting a little bit impatient, losing 2 High Templar. They're actually massive, but the storm is huge. But the probes getting caught transferring. That's definitely not where they want to be at this point in time. Obviously, losing them isn't as impactful, given he's mining out all of his bases. But it looks like in this moment, Dreamer is able to take position over the bridges, and it's actually going to be his opponent going through a choke here. Now let's see what the storms are going to be like. There's a Reaver waddling across the edge. The Zealots of Cruzago getting caught in it. Dreamer actually starting to get ahead in this engagement. This could be the move he needed. I don't think this engagement is going well at all here, but there's a ton of storm energy left for Cruzago, and overall somehow, even despite the massive upgrade disadvantage, he manages to hold on, and this single DT is enough to push back the entire army of Dreamer. But it looks like after that engagement, we've actually got a 40 supply lead for Cruzago still, and Dreamer is still struggling here. He's got his 4th base, but his 5th base is a long way away. He just still needs to hold on. His 3rd base is about to mine out. Now, one benefit of taking this base here for Cruzago is it's got a ton of minerals at it, because it's another main, and he does have this mineral-only base, so he is a rich man right now, and he is going to be banking a lot of gas, a lot of money, and that's going to be a big problem as we get further into this game. I can't believe we've got a really cool PvP to start us off with. But that's how it goes. Now, we haven't seen any storm drops. We haven't seen any shuttles at all after the initial shuttle harassment in this game here from Dreamer. And I think this could have been his downfall, because at no point did Cruzago really feel under any pressure. At no point was his economy hurt. And I mean, we've finally got Dreamer scouting both of these bases, but by this point, it's too late. And Cruzago, I do know you're from Chile, man. I'm sorry, I forgot to update the database. I'll do it after this cast. Now we've got 3 upgrades coming in here from Cruzago now, which is crazy. We've got another 3 gateways, a Stargate coming in. And I mean, just look at the size of the armies. That's really... It's the size and the quality. Like, we're going to have Dreamer moving in. He's going to come in at a weird angle. There's a lot of Storm. There's a lot of tech units here for Dreamer, or for Cruzago, which Dreamer just doesn't have. And I think this could be the final engagement of the game. I don't see how Dreamer can possibly win this engagement, even with a massive advantage. But the quality and the unit movement of Cruzago has been much better this game. His engagements have always ended with him keeping more units alive than his opponent. Now Dreamer is going to lose his 4th base as well, and with that he is going to be completely mined out. There is nothing he can do to go and defend this base. His 5th base is going to go down as well. This DT, once again, the DT usage has actually been amazing here for Cruzago. Dreamer going to try and get into a position, but look at this, the 2 Reavers doing so much damage. Oh my goodness, so much blue goo. The base is going to go down, the top right base is going to fall as well, and Cruzago is even getting a 6th base over here. Storm on the units coming across the bridge, definitely going to help, but overall it doesn't matter. Dreamer's going to tap out. GG. And aSh, oh sorry, EF take game number 1. So that was a pretty good PvP to start us off with. It was a little bit kind of, was not boring, but it was a little bit slow at the beginning. But the longer the game went on, the more engagements we got, the more fun it got as well. And Cruzago actually had a really, really nice first win there. So good job by him. We're going to go for a quick break, and then when I get back, we'll head into game number 2. See you guys soon. Toss a coin to your content creators, oh valley of plenty, oh valley of plenty, oh. Toss a coin to your content creators, a friend of humanity. Okay, welcome back guys. We are going to be heading into our second game here between aSh and EF, and these 2 players will need no introduction if you've watched the STPL before, or in this case, if you pretty much watched any foreign Brood War tournament whatsoever, or you watch Twitch whatsoever as well. Terra is an incredible player, the Peruvian powerhouse here in the STPL. He's not been doing as well recently, but when you look at the players he's been up against, it's been an insane set of games for him. He was up against Scan twice back when he was on Naz. He played against Avi and Beast as well, which is just crazy. Now his loss against Mitak is probably the most surprising in his last 10 games, but a very, very good player overall, on his way to breaking his way into the top 10 of STPL. A 70% win rate against Terrans, 67% win rate against all races. Overall, an incredibly good player, and his opponent here fighting for aSh is going to be none other than the Ghost King himself. The Ghost King, known as the Ghost King because of how many nukes he throws down. He is an avid Ghost user. And in TBT, this is the matchup where I really feel that Radley actually shines. He's only got a 37% win rate in TBT on this in the STPL, but honestly, these two have played on ladder before. It was like an hour and 10-minute long game on Fighting Spirit, and Radley won. He nuked Terra into oblivion, and I'm really hoping we get to see that, or this again. This is a really, really cool matchup to have in TBT. And I just can't wait to get into it, because the map we're going to be heading into is going to be Monty Hall SE. Now, this is a map that leads itself very well into long macro games. It makes it very easy to split. It makes it very hard to push through the middle, very hard to push down the sides. Now, the game we had between TTF and Reina here was incredible. So, if you're not really sure if you like TBT, I'm sure this is going to be the game that may change your mind. It's going to be an excellent matchup. And I am more excited about this than probably any other matchup today, because I'm a massive TBT fan. I love watching Terra and I love watching Radley. So let's get into it. It's game number 2, Terra versus Radley. Okay, starting us off here in the top left-hand corner, we have the Ghost King fighting for aSh. It's Radley. And his opponent spawning down here in the bottom right-hand corner in the lovely magenta. It's the Peruvian powerhouse himself. It's Terra. Now, it feels a bit mean to show off this cheerful, given we don't have one for Terra, but I'm going to show off this one again anyway, because it's amazingly well made. This was a cheerful someone made to support Radley, support the Ghost King, and it's really, really good. It's a Max Payne parody on the cover. Every time the nuke lands, an angel gets his wings. I know I showed this off before, but I love this. I love this a lot. This is really good. And this is why you guys need more cheerfuls, man. Get some cheerfuls for the other players. When they play, I'll throw them up on stream. It allows you to show off your skills, or lack thereof, if that's how you prefer. And it also gives a lot of personality and makes the players know that you care about them as well, which is really, really cool. Now, both of these players in TBT, certainly interesting. And Edgewoda says, what can I do if I like no players? Well, you can make a cheerful for a team, and if you don't like any teams, maybe you can make a Brood War cheerful or a race cheerful or something. Now it looks like we are going to have Radley pushing an SCV through the mineral here. Looks like Terra is going to do exactly the same thing. Both of them getting it first try as well. That's actually really, really cool. So we're going to have a 14cc first for both players. And they're also, one really important thing to note is they are both expanding on opposite sides of the map. And both of them even going to be building their barracks in the same place. Now it looks like Radley is going to continue mining this through, so is Terra. This is so basically later on when this command center finishes, they'll be able to transfer workers through. Now, if you've never seen Monty Hall SE before, let's actually just show it off, because it is a relatively weird map. You'll notice that the mains are in a cluster in the bottom right and top left. Top left's a little bit harder to see the cluster effect, but you'll notice there's mineral walls blocking you off from a gas base here. Mineral walls blocking you off from a gas base here. And a mineral wall blocking you off from the gas base here. Now, the way the map actually works is in the bottom left and in the top right, there are gas bases. All of the gas bases in between, there's like 2 bases either side as well. They actually do all have half gas. So there's a lot of gas bases on this map, but they're all only 2,000, which means it's not super easy to get 1,000,000 gas bases. Now, the naturals are actually a little bit higher, just because otherwise the game would end very quickly. But this is actually really cool that we're going to see this here, because both players are going for pretty much exactly the same build. We've got Radley going for 2 factory, Terra going for 2 factory. It looks like Terra's factory is a little further ahead than Radley's are, but Radley's got a little bit of extra money. Do we have a starport coming in here somewhere for Terra? No, Terra went for his gas faster, so... Looks like Terra is essentially... Terra's a little bit ahead, at least in terms of milliseconds worth of building. Now, in a mirror matchup, that actually does amount to quite a lot the longer the game goes on, but TVT, a lot of people think of it as a pure macro fest. They think of it being quite boring, but TVT is actually super strategic. Like, you're basically... The better player, at least macro-wise, doesn't always win in TVT. It's the better player strategically and positionally. Strategy and position matter in this matchup way more than any other matchup. Both players going for an Academy and Armory, by the way. And Radley's confirming that his opponent doesn't have any units down here. Now, Terra is actually going to ready to try and expand to here. So it'll be interesting to see if Radley... I don't think he can attack that, but he will know it's coming. Now, I did mention before that this map is quite easy to split. It looks like we may be heading towards that, given the fact that neither player is really looking to be too aggressive. Now, we've actually got Terra. Is he... No, he's actually not even going for drops here. He's countering the opponent possibly going for early drops. Now, Radley is in a position to defend this area. Looks like the 2 Marines going to be used to attack this tank. Not the best use of them. But by stopping his opponent getting through here, he actually defends his tanks now. Defends his base, sorry. Now this siege position, pretty good. But Radley is still going to hold on to this location. But this does give him the ability to mine this out slowly but surely. Shad asked how many minerals in the dividing fields. It's 48 in all of them, as you can see there. It means you need a few trips to do it, or you can send like 6 SCVs or something to do it one time. Now we've got Radley pushing away Terra's barracks. I believe Terra pushed away... No, Radley didn't even send his barracks to scout, so Radley's actually going to have an advantage here. Now you can see that Terra forced immediately into adding another couple of factories on, given the fact his barracks is 100% about to die. SCV going to be moving around here on the left, going to check if his opponent is expanding. Looks like Radley is going to get ready to block that off as well. Now Terra is the one who's going to push through first. And Terra's actually got a pretty big unit lead already. I mean, they are the same supply. It just feels, given how many tanks Terra has, that he's in a better position. Looks like Radley was getting a lot more. He was more prepared, I think, for drops rather than tanks. Now, do we have siege mode in here? I can only imagine we've got siege mode already. Yes, we do. Now, let's actually have a look at how this goes. We've got a lot of Goliaths here, which will help soak this up. The siege mode is actually doing a ton of damage here. Looks like Radley is going to be able to hold on, at least for the time being. This SCV really helping this out. But Terra is going to lose all of his units. No, he's not. He continues to push forward. Looks like Radley just about didn't have enough there. Maybe his engagement wasn't as good. His target firing could have been a little bit better. The SCV did get the kill on the tank as well. But let's have a look, see if he can break through this. The mines at the front going to be doing so much. The mine taking out a tank as well. Not a tower, it's hitting a tank, but taking out SCV. Now it looks like Terra is just going to continue rallying forward here. Now the Vultures are going to do a massive amount of work here to try and help this. Radley's siege positioning is not that great at the back here, but the constant Vultures are going to make this very difficult for Radley to be able to push forward. Now he does manage to kill the first mine. He's trying to focus down this mine as well, but this is going to be a tough situation. Looks like he is going to be able to hold on to it, and he does defend his gas. Now, that's the most important thing. Being down a gas in the TVT is basically being very, very far behind. Now Terra going to set up a forward position here, which is going to secure this base and secure this base as well. But Radley, he can go around the left-hand side of the map, and he isn't going to be worried too much. Now, it looks like Radley is going to be expanding to these minerals, and then he'll float it over afterwards. It does get him the ability to mine that a little bit more efficiently. Now, Radley basically needs to make sure Terra cannot hold this position. If Terra gets here, he's going to get the gas. So you can already see Radley getting ready to push forward a little bit. Doesn't want to push too far forward, just make just enough to make... Oh, this is really clever. Radley dropped his barracks here to actually block any reinforcements from coming up. That was a really, really clutch play that I almost missed. I thought it was still flying. Now there is a science facility coming in here. It is going to be 4 tanks being dropped here by Radley. Now Terra does see this coming in. He's pushing forward with turrets. Now Terra is actually going for a really risky expansion here on the left-hand side of the map. He knows his opponent can't get there by ground, but he does not yet know that well, he knows his opponent can get there by air as well, but Radley should really go and kill that if he can find it. But looks like he is going to be moving back to help defend this with his units. Both of them scanning each other's army here. Just keeping an eye out. Looks like Radley going to see how many tanks there are. I'm going to make sure that he pushes back with a little bit more defense. The drop would have been really good. There's not really too much back at home to help defend this, but 2 wraiths would have been a massive, massive help. My favourite thing about TVT is just hearing all the scans going off all the time. I'm a weird, weird person, but I love the scan sound. Now it looks like Radley getting ready to take his 3rd base. This is far, far ahead. Well, I say that. It is technically far ahead of Terra's. It's in a slightly better position as well. It's got more gas. Oh, but the dropship's being taken down by the wraiths even. There's no engineering bay just yet for Radley. He did skip that. +1 attack is done for Radley, but here we go. Looks like we are going to have Terra moving forward with a couple of tanks. He does not have +1 attack yet. This is a very risky move. We don't have any more scan here from Radley though, so he can't deal with the 2 wraiths. There we go. So the 2 wraiths are going to go down. That's a lot of lost gas from Terra, and Radley is actually going to end up with more supply. Now the 4th factory is coming in here from Radley. In case you're wondering, guys, why did Terra's minerals get so high? In TVT, your minerals do get high. When you're macroing just tanks and Goliaths, like, you don't spend that many minerals overall. And he is going to be moving up to build 3 tanks at a time now, but TVT, you bank a lot of minerals. Unless you build turrets everywhere, you're going to end up with a lot. So, Radley making a really clever play here. Going to be expanding to the top right-hand corner. Both players really trying to get around each other here. Now, Radley is moving into a position to secure this base, or at least block Terra from being able to get to there, and that's actually a massive base to hold. The gas is very, very high here, and as the corner bases do have 5,000 gas, it's pretty good to take, and Radley going to be building a factory up there as well, but let's see if he can actually hold on to this position. Terra going to lose another wraith. Now Terra is mining this gas. He's not too worried about the minerals too much. This gas though is going to be very important because he does technically hold a better chunk of the map at this moment in time. By holding this position, Radley doesn't actually have a base that he can secure, but obviously if he can manage to get this top right hand base before Terra can, that is going to be really, really good for him. Now looks like Terra's going to pull some SUVs with this. He knows he has to secure this position. More tanks coming in at the back to help defend against this, but looks like Terra is going to be able to secure this position again. Still no upgrades on Terra's units, by the way. Definitely not a position you want to be in, but luckily enough for him, +2 attack is not done. Radley is now going to find himself at a supply disadvantage, and Terra is going to be able to secure himself a 4th base. Now Radley getting ready to move out into another map. He does have vessels, which means he is going to have D-Matrix. but does need to make sure he doesn't lose the vessel. Here we go. Looks like he's pushing forward. Ratley taking a very risky engagement here, but it's going very, very well. The siege mode not coming in handy here for Terra whatsoever. And it looks like both players going to trade pretty evenly. Once again, Terra getting the better end of that engagement, though Ratley with so many more SCVs. And this base is actually going to come under fire. The gas is going to be in a very precarious position here. And Ratley going to be able to siege up. His +2 attack should be almost done, I would imagine, based on this vessel timing. But looks like he is going to be able to hold on at least to the base for the time being, but needs to be very careful. The gas looks like it is going to go down, which is definitely not something you want happening. But Ratley still in a pretty good position. By securing this top right base, he is in a very nice position as well. Now this gas going down is pretty annoying, but he will be able to drop some tanks on top of this to kind of help this out. Forcing an unsiege means Ratley can actually move in to help this out. He needs to pick the units up. Doesn't pick the units up, that's a little bit unfortunate. Gonna siege up again is Terra. This dropship is gonna go down. That's a little bit wasteful, especially on Ratley's side here. Now let's check the upgrades. I did notice something there, which I will show off in a second. We've got +2 attack nearly almost done. Terra does not have +1 on the way. Oh, he does. He's got +1, but no +2. But let's take a look here. Let's zoom in here because we have the Ghost King going for covert ops. We've got double Ghost production coming in here for Ratley, and he is going to be expanding to the left-hand natural. He is going to have more gas bases than his opponent. And he's actually going to be able to take out the third gas base for Terra. Terra is going to be down to 2 gases. But here we go. Looks like Terra is going to try and push in to the natural expansion here. And this is definitely not looking good. Ratley's units are all in the bottom right-hand corner. Could this be a little bit too little too late for Ratley? Terra with so many units. This is a very strong position to hold on to. But he can't actually push into the factories. And that's really where he has to go. And if you remember, guys, Ratley has that top right-hand base. He has the ability to push down here and put some pressure on his opponent as well. Now, do we have a nuke silo? I don't think we do. Ratley doesn't really have the gas just yet to go for nukes. But after that engagement, Ratley still with a big supply advantage. I know a lot of people would normally write Ratley out in this kind of game, but Ratley is an incredible TVT player. He is very good in these best-of-1 situations. And with the supply lead against Terra, he's got a 22 worker lead against Terra. That is insane. And Terra, he's running out of bases. He's trying to expand here to another natural. He's finally taking this base, but he's lost his only other gas base. He's going to be so far down in gas for a good amount of time here. Now the one benefit is he did manage to mine out this gas halfway, so this means if Ratley takes this base, it's not going to be as powerful. But Ratley did manage to break out. He did take his his base back. Sorry I missed that engagement, guys. I didn't even notice it on the minimap. But it definitely looks like Ratley feels like Ratley has definitely practiced this map a little bit more. He's come with a more specialized strategy here, and it really is starting to pay off now. I don't know what the ghost upgrade situation is for Ratley. I don't think I've seen this moving. Now, both players just kind of scanning around. I don't think Terra knows about the top right-hand base yet. He's not going for dropships or anything to try and kill it. But Terra is maybe playing a little bit too over-aggressive here. This gas is depleted. The minerals are about to go. And even if he loses this base, Ratley isn't going to worry too much. Now, losing this position is going to be the important thing. Now, it looks like Ratley is going to have to get in a position to go and defend this. All of his units are going to come back here. He needs to make sure he holds on. And look at Ratley building a semi-wall in here, making it a little bit more difficult for the units to just run through. Now, there is a Wraith at the front here doing so much, but it's +2 attack against +1. Ratley's tanks have a massive advantage in these positions, but this is still not looking good for Ratley. Terra with so many units, he's actually behind in supply, but still with 1 million tanks here. Ratley pulling all of his units back. He has to hold on to his base here. Some SUVs being pulled to help hold on to this. Is there going to be a lockdown? Is there going to be a lockdown? No, there's no lockdown just yet. He doesn't even have cloak yet. Lockdown isn't finished researching. He loses the ghost, but he does seemingly look like he's going to be able to hold on to this position. And this is a massive loss from Terra. This was all of his army. This was all of Terra's army. He's just thrown it away. Radley still with the top right-hand corner. Still no scan on the top right-hand base. I think that was a little bit earlier he scanned that. Both players just scanning around. Terra is down to 2 bases. Radley is on 3. He's got more gas mining at the moment than Terra does as well. And Terra losing most of his tanks in that engagement are definitely going to cause a few problems. Now Cloak is on the way here for these ghosts. Radley starting to get into a position where he feels confident. And we should see some nuclear silos coming in here very soon. And he is going to be one, I think. I think he's going to build one here. We'll have to keep an eye out. Nuke's obviously going to be very, very good in this game. It's going to be very hard for Terra to scan enough. He's only got 3 command centers. They do have a lot of scan energy between them. And you can already see that Terra is getting ready with missile turrets and stuff because he doesn't want to get dropped. He doesn't want to get ghosts. Now we've got Terra or Bradley getting ready with more and more turrets. Now the one problem with this turret position is if Terra drops here, he can push this. And that's definitely not where you want to be in, is Radley, but he knows he's in a good spot right now. Terra getting ready to push again. And I mean, look at the state of this army. Like, I know that sounds really weird to say this. No +2 attack. It's 5 tanks, some SCVs, and some vultures. Like, that isn't going to help you. This is not going to be an engagement that Terra is going to be able to win. Like, Radley has got his forces split between 2 locations. Looks like Terra is just going to maybe try and hold the bases, but the engineering bay out here actually really helping out. Now the tanks have reinforced here, which makes this a little bit stronger, but don't forget it's +3 attack against +1. This should be an incredible engagement here from Radley. Looks like more tanks coming up though for both players. Definitely the beginning of the engagement going a little bit better for Terra, but none of Radley's tanks have died. 2 of them going down. Oh, and here's the lockdown. 1 lockdown, 2 lockdowns, 3 lockdowns on those tanks. Now that makes things a little bit easier for Radley to hold on to, but one of the gases is going to go down here. Radley needs to pull some more units over and defend against this. The lockdown's actually coming in massive clutch here. Going to help him clear out these tanks for free, essentially. He did lose the gases to do this, but it's not the end of the world here for Radley. He still has the corner base. He still has the middle base. And he is going to be able to hold on to this CC. Now this siege position, unfortunate for Radley, but just look at this! Every tank engagement is going so much better for Radley. The +3 attack is coming in so well. Now it looks like we are going to have more vultures coming in here. Looks like Terra wants to kind of almost go all in with this. Is he even going to be able to break this position though? The mine's going to really help this engagement, but how many tanks is Terra going to lose to try and make this happen? This is 3 tanks remaining. If Radley just sends his SCVs, he's going to win this engagement. But looks like he is just going to hold on. He doesn't want to waste any SCVs yet. He did lose quite a few of them before. But he is going to hold on to this base by the looks of it. Even if he doesn't, it's not the end of the world. He's still got the middle base. He's still got the top right-hand corner. Now Terra is getting ready to expand to the bottom left-hand position. And Terra is securing a really strong position outside of his opponent's main. And that's definitely not where you want to go against, but do we have a nuke silo? Oh, here we go. Nuke silo up here in the top right-hand corner, building a nuke. Looks like we're going to have Radley pushing through the middle of the map. Terra has 1 tank defending his expansion. Looks like Terra's going to try and move in here. We should have Cloak on this Ghost, but he's not cloaked yet, so the Ghost is going to go down. But the Cloak's actually, or the Ghost is actually clearing out the mines really nicely, but does need to Cloak or he's going to lose it. But looks like he is getting in a position to attack this base. He's got 2 D-Matrixes ready for this. And Terra is going to be down to 2 mining bases. One of them isn't finished. Radley, of course, is in a similar position. Looks like the Covert Ops is actually going to be focused down here. This is a little bit unfortunate, but means we're going to see no more Ghosts in this game. And Terra is in an incredibly strong spot here. He's going to make it very difficult for Radley to be able to defend on this, or hold on to this base. But honestly, if Radley just pulls his SCVs, he can kill this. Now we have a dropship. There is no ghost down here. But looks like we did have that D-Matrix coming in to help push forward. He has managed to block all the mining on this base, which is pretty damn good. Looks like we are going to have Terra trying to push out the second D-Matrix, really helping out that front tank. The engagement's going so well. +2 attack is finally up, but the mines! Oh, the mine's going to be huge, but no! Okay, the mine still did do a ton of damage here. Looks like Terra going to be able to secure this position. And it feels like Radley is just getting out positioned here. He's only got, what, 2 machine shop building factories, tanks. And oh my goodness, looks like Radley could actually lose this game after all that. Maybe going for the ghosts actually hurt the Ghost King here. But all the units that come back really starting to hurt. This is such an awful position for Radley to be in. More tanks going to be pushing forward to get one of his only other mining bases. Radley trying to expand to the bottom right hand corner, but he's got no way of moving the units out of this corner base. But we do have a CC still here. The gas almost depleted. But the real problem is these tanks. Every time a tank spawns, a tank dies. And he doesn't have any wraiths or anything like that. He's got no way to hold on to his natural base here. And it looks like in the end of it all, Radley may have been outpositioned. He was doing so well the entire game. He had a supply lead for most of the game as well. But Terra turned it up to 11. He's managed to bring it back here. Now Radley is still not out of this game. There is still a chance for him. It's going to be rough. But he can still hold on to his factories, he still has all his supply depots, and more importantly, he still has this base in the top right. We've got another science facility done. I don't know if we'll see realistically a ghost, but he's got a nuke, he has to use it. Now finally, Radley is going to be able to hold on to his main. He does take a lot of damage doing so, but he is going to be able to hold on at the very least. Radley's problem is a lack of machine shops. If he had 3 machine shop building tanks here, he would be in a much better spot. But the problem is, where he's so poor now, it's actually causing a problem. Now looks like Terra getting ready to push forward. Radley coming in to try and defend this base with some more tanks. He does need to siege them up. 1 tank in this dropship could be the difference between holding and losing this base. Here come the SCVs. What is the engagement going to be like here from Radley? The +3 attack really powerful, but this is a ton of units here from Radley, and it looks like this could very well be the end of the game. Radley did valiantly hold on this entire time. We did have another covert ops built, but unfortunately it doesn't matter. Radley is going to find himself down on 1 base, Terra on 2, but Radley is not in a position to be able to expand to another base right now. He only is able to build one factory at a time. Now, are we going to see a nuke? Are we going to see a moral victory coming in here from Radley? I'm not too sure. It's going to be tough. Radley is still not out of the game, of course. TBT. You really have to kill your opponent before they leave. It's kind of like shogi over chess, where your opponent has to admit defeat before you die. So, and we do have this ghost here. This is going to allow him to nuke at least defensively. But I get the feeling that this could be a problem here. Radley is finding more and more siege tanks in his main base. His only machine shop factory is going to go down. There's no option of going mass Goliath to deal with this either. And honestly, I don't think we're going to see a nuke. It's a little bit unfortunate. He still has the option of going for it. But realistically, where is he going to nuke? Maybe if he drops here. Well, he doesn't even need to drop here. Maybe if he walks here and nukes this base, that'd be really cool. He is going to go on the low ground though, and this could be a big problem, because when you're on the low ground, you're more exposed. The tank line's going to cause you some issues. Now looks like this would actually just be better to nuke from on the high ground. But let's see how this is going to go. He is going to nuke in just a second. Nuke coming out the top right hand corner. Let's see if Terra sees where this is going. This is a Hail Mary nuke. It doesn't land. And that's a little bit unfortunate for all of us. Now, imagine if he was in this position. Imagine if he managed to get here. That would have still landed. We got tanks on the high ground. The scan didn't run off, though, before he picked up the tanks. And Terra is going to be able to hold on to this position. GG, Radley taps out, and unfortunately, the Ghost King is going to fall. The Peruvian powerhouse once again showing just how damn strong he is. Terra realistically was behind a lot of that game, and then it took one move, one swift decision to push towards his opponent's main, and by getting on top of the factories, he essentially checkmated Radley. Radley found it impossible to break it out of that position. That was an amazing game. I'm going to go for a very quick break. It's going to be around 5 minutes, just because I've been casting for like an hour already, which is kind of crazy after 2 games, but we had some pretty sick games so far, so see you guys soon. STPL does! Bio TVP? Wow! You got it! STPL does! Mass Scouts? No problem. Broadcast 3 nights a week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 2100 CEST. Fantastic casting, fantastic production, fantastic prizes. Only here on the STPL. Did you know Reavers could be this radical? How did these lings even get here? All I know is that's one dead base. STPL does! Wraiths, Valkyries, Carriers, and Corsairs. Forget about it. You won't see that anywhere else. STPL does. STPL does. STPL does. STPL does. STPL does. DT's doing game-ending damage? Name a more iconic duo. We've even got Carriers in PvZ. How amazing! A global team league on the scale you've never seen before. Don't see this in BWCL, STPL does. All that and more, only on this amazing 64-bit STPL. What BWCL don't. Impressed? I know I am. Why not support us on the link below? Patreon.com/kicks. But act fast. It's a limited offer. Okay guys, welcome back. We're going to be heading into game number 3 of aSh versus aSh versus EF. Gendy93 asks in chat, what's the origin of STPL does? It's actually a parody of an old Sega advert, which was like, Sega does what Nintendo don't. And I saw the ad and I was like, I really want to make a parody of it. So there we go. I decided to make it, and it's actually stuck. People seem to like it at the very least. I am not partner, but I got lucky and there's quality options, so don't complain. When you're an affiliate, essentially the quality options are random. Now, this matchup going to be another PvP. We've had a few mirrors today, but I think this one may be a little bit quicker. Starting us off here for EF is going to be Gosudark. Not had too many games played in the STPL, so not too much to say. He's only actually played PvT so far, so I'll have to see how it's going to go as he moves into a game against Desakwe. Now, Desakwe hasn't played at all in the STPL, so nothing to say there. Let's have a look at La Mancha. La Mancha is going to be our map here. We've had one PvP here so far, which is kind of insane. But this was all the way back in Season 1. It was actually a 7-minute game. Not too long. Vingzel actually played this game and took one of his only wins over Crush, I believe. Unless I'm... no, Vingzel's a different player. Vingzel hasn't played too much, though. But that was actually a pretty good game, if I remember rightly. But it should be a relatively quick game here. Given the fact it is Gosudark, he plays very aggressively. And Desakwe, I'm not really sure how active he's been, but he is relatively old school, so Let's see how this goes as we get into game number 3. Okay, starting us off here in the top left-hand corner, we do have the red Protoss player fighting for EF. It's Gosu Dark. And his opponent spawning down here in the bottom left-hand corner is in the blue, fighting from Croatia. It's Deswake. Oh, and someone in chat saying quality options kick in based off of viewer count if you're not partner. So thanks guys, enough of you wonderful people are tuning in to watch the STPL that we get some quality options. I didn't know that. One moment I would like to take as well is to say a massive thank you to our sponsors, Liquipedia, Esport Fund and Matrino, as well as some wonderful community donations we've had so far, as well as all our patrons as well. We are currently at $1,400 of our $2,000 prize pool goal. If we can make that goal, we've essentially got a chance of having a much bigger prize pool in Season 4, so let's get that number up if we can. If you want to support on Matrino and you don't have any money, it's fine. You can enter the code in the chat, STPLS3, to add 50 cents to the prize pool completely free. We've got $200 worth of those codes, guys, so it's worth it if you've not used it yet to go and do it, because the more money you add for free, the bigger the tournament prize pool gets, the better it gets for our players, and the better it looks for sponsors as well moving forward. Shimmy, you need to enter the code on Matrino, sorry. Yeah, you need to go to the Matrino link and enter the code, guys. You don't enter it in chat. Sorry, my bad. Now we've got one gate against one gate. It's mirror builds and a mirror matchup. Something I definitely enjoy watching. Now it's interesting, Gosu Dark didn't go for a two there. He didn't go for a 2-gate, but honestly, you can't say that Gosu Dark is your normal Peruvian Protoss player. Yes, he can play aggressively, but he's also very clever. Now, his aggression this game is going to be Citadel into DTs. Now, is Desakwe going to be able to deal with this? I'm not too sure. I don't know how actually active Desakwe is. But if he's not super active, he may not know much about Gosu Dark, and he may choose to skip a robo here and go for 3-gate. Now, if he goes for 3-gate, he essentially auto loses. But if he doesn't, if he can somehow manage to go for obs, or at least a cannon, he's going to be able to hold on here. But, I mean, the probe hasn't seen anything. He hasn't seen anything leave the base. He hasn't been able to get in, and he sees no nexus. So he should tech to robo here. He should get to tech to robo. And the fact that Gosu Dark has a probe in his opponent's base, keeping his units busy, means that Desakwe isn't paying attention to what else is going on. He's focusing a lot on the probe, and he's not going to think about DTs. Like, that was a really nice probe micro. It actually gets out of the base as well. Now, we do have a robo, but just look at how late that was based on the gas. Like, this was a really, really late robo. And those seconds could be enough for these first 2 DTs to come out and win the game. Now, do we have a Forge coming in as well? No, that is a 3rd pylon. But DTs definitely very, very strong choice here by Gosu Dark. And I think if you're a sub or you've got channel points and you want to use them on the 6-minute cursor mode, I think this is when you need to get them ready. The 6-minute curse has kind of long since disappeared since Season 1. It was kind of a major thing in Season 1, but even then, it wasn't that big of a thing. It was made more of a big deal by Rapid, who seemed to, whenever he cast it, ended up with a 6-minute game. But yes, Gosu Dark is down in workers, but he is way, way, way ahead in tech. Like, we've got a second gateway coming in here. The robo has just finished. The observatory has only just now started. And these DTs have the power to end the game before an observer can even get out here. It's going to be rough. Observatory does build very quickly. But these DTs are just, I mean, this is going to be so much damage. Look at this. The Sarkway may even just quit. Now this is a little bit unfortunate because of course if Desarco, oh my god, he's even going to focus the robo. He's going to get the robo before the observer comes out. This is actually a massive, massive play. And with this, Gosu Dark is going to win the game. There is absolutely no recompense. There is no way he can attack the DTs. There's no way he can do anything. And eventually he's going to die. GG. Gosu Dark with a cleverly timed out DT rush takes down Desarque and wins the series for EF 3-0. Now this is STPL, and of course every single game is played in the series, minus the ace match if that wasn't played, obviously if there was no need for one. So we are going to go and watch game number 4. It should be pretty good. It's going to be a TVZ between Shaylin and Hit 'em Up, and it's coming up after this.
STPL Season 3. Yeah. STPL DAS. Bio TVP. Wow! No problem. We got dragons to defend. Yeah. STPL DAS. STPL DAS. Mass Scout? Oh, I'm so afraid. We got Hydralisk to defend. Yes. STPL. STPL. Fantastic production. Fantastic casters. Fantastic prize pool. Only in STPL.
Outstanding. Rock and roll.
Okay, it's time for a quick tip. Here we have Neo Outlier. I'm going to show you how to get over these temples with a probe. I'll also do it with an SCV and a drone as well. So what you do is you essentially send the probe up to mine, you press stop, and you go to build a pylon. Now you build the pylon underneath you, so essentially it's going to push you, then you spam right click, and all of a sudden you are through. And here is the same trick with Terran. There's a couple of ways you can do this. One of them is you build a depot, and you essentially cancel building, and you just spam yourself through. You have to be kind of stuck or either on the building in the temple or there. But you can cancel that, and just to show, you can do it both ways as well. Okay, now there's a way you can do this. Okay guys, welcome back. We're going to be heading into game number 4 here. EF have won the series 3-0, but are they going to make it a clean sweep? This is the game that will decide that fate. Shaylin going to be starting here for EF, a very strong Zerg player from South Korea. She's not done as well against Terran, but there's not a massive sample size, so that's certainly nothing to worry about. She did just recently beat Wapple. Did lose to Bonnet. That was actually a really sick game, and lost to DeWalt as well, but pretty cool player nevertheless. Looking forward to seeing how she's going to do here. Against, it's aSh's ace player, it's their captain, it's Hit 'em Up. Hit 'em Up aka Logan. Really, really good Terran player from Canada. He's actually 7-1 against Zerg with an 87% win rate, which is ridiculous. And overall, just a really, really good player here in the STPL. Now, the map they're going to be heading into is going to be Tripod. Tripod, a 3-player map from ASL Season 9, I believe it was. Season 8, sorry. But it's actually just a really, really fun map to watch. Very dynamic, lots of different ways you can go, lots of different ways you can expand, especially as our Zerg player here. And I think if we're going to have a long macro TBZ, this could be the map that will bring it to us. Now, let's not waste any more time. Let's get into the game. It's game number 4, Shaylin versus Hit 'em Up. The game has begun, and in the top left-hand position we do have, in the blue, fighting for EF, Jalen. And her opponent spawning here in the right-hand side of the map, in the red, it's Hit 'em Up, fighting for aSh. Now, I have an incredible cheerful to show off here. it's Hit 'em Up, it's Logan. I love this so much. Oh my god, it's so funny. Hit 'em Up said that this was like one of the most drunk pictures he's ever had taken. And you can definitely tell. Oh my god, he's so drunk in that photo. But overall, just a really good cheerful. We definitely need to give a little bit of cheer here for aSh as well, because if they don't win this game, they are going to be heading in to a 4-0 sweep, which is definitely not something you want to have. Now Jalen getting ready to go up to 12 supply here. It is going to be 12 drones, so it is going to be a 12 hatchery. Now Jalen is actually going to expand towards her opponent. She doesn't know where Hit 'em Up is, so can't really choose to expand away. Just going to pick the one that feels right. Now we've got a gas opening coming in for Hit 'em Up. Now Hit 'em Up is actually going to opt to wall in the right location as well. So neither player not going to be looking to do any early aggression here. Jalen, I mean, if she wants to try it, is going to come against a wall. Hit 'em Up going to be taking up behind this, and it's kind of cool to see how this is going to play out. Looks like Jalen is getting ready for a 3 hatch before pull. Yeah, it's 3 hatch before pull. This is an incredibly greedy build. It realistically shouldn't work against any form of bio opening, but against mech it's actually really, really good. Mech has very few options early game to actually attack this. And the fact that Hit 'em Up is walled in as well means he can't necessarily go for a bunker rush. It's going to be too late. And Jalen is going to be in an incredible position economically here. Okay, so it is only going to be one factory expand here coming in from Hit 'em Up. We're not going to see it all. Yeah, okay. I was going to say we're not going to see a double starport or anything crazy like that. But spawning pool coming up here. Third hatchery has finished up as well, so pretty much everything is going Jalen's way here in this game at the moment. Now it is going to be 3 hatch, most likely Mutalisks. Off the back of this, Mute is very, very good on this map. Mute is actually a very good opening, just in general. Now to answer LML's question in chat, why is Jalen in a foreign clan? There's actually a few Koreans on EF as well. They don't always play, like Pinkbrush is on EF, Jalen. We've seen another couple of them as well, but it's mainly, like, since they've added Terra, Cruzago, and Gosudark, that's been kind of like their go-to players along with Jalen. Now, second factory coming in here with the Armory. Very standard opening. 4 going mech on this map. Not going to go for a 1-fact starport or anything like that, so no fancy build, unfortunately. Oh, now there is a Vulture coming in here. Doesn't actually manage to get one of the drones just yet. Jalen doing a really good job defending against this, by the way. Not even losing a single drone. That's actually massive. Now let's see if she's able to get this one. No, the drone going to get away. The Ling's going to get on top of the Vulture. And this is going to be really hard to push into as Hit 'em Up, so he's probably going to have to pull back here. Now there is an SCV hidden in the main base. This is actually very important to go and scout a little bit later on. Looks like hit him up trying to bait the Zerglings out, but he is going to have to be very careful here. He's about to, oh my god, Shaylin with the micro. Really, really nicely done. Forces the Vulture into the sunken colony. And that's pretty damn good. Shaylin really good with the drone usage there, and those Lings really, really holding on to a position that could have been much, much worse. Now the Spire is on the way here for Shaylin. As I mentioned before, everything is looking pretty damn good for her at the moment. The economy is booming already off of those 3 hatcheries. Loads and loads of drones already. She's actually got a worker advantage over a Terran, which is not really something you would ever see. Now the one benefit the Hit 'em Up has is he's going for Mech. Mech is a little bit more robust, although first thing in the start of the game it's a little bit risky, as Goliaths are just not very good against Mutalisks whatsoever. They are when you get enough of them, but before then it's not great. Now Hit 'em Up is going for the engineering bay. It is perfectly timed to finish as the Mutalisk start, which means the turrets should be done by the time Shaylin gets to his base, which is really, really good. Although Hit 'em Up is actually delaying turrets here. This could be a problem. Turret now just coming in. The first set of Mutalisks are about to pop. There they are. As it is 3 hatch, it's going to be 9 Mutalisks to start with rather than just the 6. And this means the lack of turrets is actually going to be a little bit problematic. Now this barracks is out here going to be scouting for the Mutas. And this is actually going to buy Hit 'em Up some time. Now only 1 turret in the main is incredibly risky here. Looks like Hit 'em Up is getting ready to be just very, very careful with his Goliaths. But is it going to work? He's down to 3 Goliaths already. The Mutalisk is going to come into the main. And this is more than enough to one-shot SCVs. 5 SCVs going down. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, only 13. I mean, Shaylin does lose a lot of health on those Mutalisks, but that's a huge amount of economy to lose. Now 4 factories coming in. This is going to be a 4-fact push here from Hit 'em Up. Now Hit 'em Up knows he's damaged the Mutalisks a lot. He knows it's very unlikely there's going to be a Hydra Den done already given the number of Mutas. And this gives these Goliaths a little bit of a timing attack he can do. Now it's not going to be 5 factory, so it's not as strong. But 4 factory is kind of the in-between. 3 is usually where you'd expand from. 4 is kind of, I'm going to put a little bit of aggression on, but hope to expand behind it. So we should see the 3rd base coming in fairly shortly here for Hit 'em Up. But looks like the Sunkens are already on the way. The Goliaths need to get into position to snipe these down before they can finish. The Goliaths are going to do so much here. The Mutalisks, though, are coming in to help this out, but the Sunkens are going to finish. Now, the Sunkens are the major problem here for Hit 'em Up, because they do a ton of damage against Goliaths. Now, let's have a look here. Starport is up here for Hit 'em Up. We are going to have the Science Facility coming in behind this, which means we're going to see +2 attack after this after all. Looks like Hit 'em Up getting ready to push through the middle of the map, maybe go around to the other base. Now this is actually strategically a very clever move, but the trouble is this is a ton of Mutalisks. Are there even enough turrets here? No, there's only 2 of them. So this unit movement is actually really helping Hit 'em Up out, but the trouble is his units are stuck on the minerals. Now with this amount of Mutalisks, they don't have +1 carapace, so this +1 attack is actually doing a lot every time these Mutalisks fly in. But given the fact there's only 1 Sunken here, Hit 'em Up is still in a position to go for a timing push. Now it looks like Hit 'em Up still unsure where to push here, but he is going to push down through the middle. And this is a very undefended fourth base here. Second armory going to be coming in here, which means that we are going to be seeing double upgrades, which is really good for our Terran player, but still no third command center. It's going to be very difficult to take that. Now there's still no muteless upgrades. Looks like Hit 'em Up getting a position to take out this base. The Sunken needs to be focused. There we go, the Sunken's down. The Goliaths are on the high ground. These drones are actually helping out a lot. The burrow there actually really helping as well, because it saves them all. And all of Hit 'em Up's army goes down. This is not a good position to be in as a Terran. This is so many Mutalisks, and how on earth do you deal with them? I just don't think it's possible. I think the longer this game goes on, the harder it's going to be. No Queen's Nest, no Hydra Den either. This is such a weird game by Chaylin. She's just relying entirely on unupgraded Mutalisks, and it's working. Now, Burrow is done. There are no scanners available on this map at all. The Academy comes very late in this build, but I mean, it should come a little bit sooner than this. Now, the Mutalisks going to fly in. They're going to try and snipe the armory. Unfortunately, this isn't the one going for +1 attack. Oh my god, she's going to get both the armories. If both these armories go down, there's no more upgrades, and more importantly, there's no more Goliaths. That was an amazing snipe here by Chaylin, trading away a few Mutalisks. But that's the only anti-air that Hit 'em Up has. Hit 'em Up is no longer able to build any anti-air whatsoever. The control tower isn't even done. There's no irradiate. And Chaylin may have just won the game with that move. Now there is another army coming in here at the top. There's another one coming in here at the bottom. Looks like Hit 'em Up getting ready to take a third base as well. But Chaylin is going to be up to 4 gas very soon. A 5th base is about to come out down here in the bottom left. And this is the furthest possible location away. It's the the furthest possible location away from his opponent. Yeah, from Hit 'em Up is what I meant to say. Sorry, my brain is frozen today. I've hit that point in casting where I've already been casting for long enough that I've forgotten how to use English. Now Hit 'em Up getting ready to go into Chaylin's bases. She's doing a pretty good job defending this with just the Mutalisk though. And once again, Hit 'em Up is unable to find any damage. Now the Mutalisks still continuing to go around. Finally we have an upgrade. It's actually +1 attack on these Mutalisks, +1 carapace. Almost done. Queen's Nest is almost done. Hydralisk upgrades coming in as well. And we've actually got double ground upgrades coming in here for our Zerg player. Chaylin going for double range, or range attack and carapace. Now it looks like the Mutalisk going to come in here to the natural. The turret's definitely not in a position to worry about anything. The Goliath's getting all stuck on the vultures. And it looks like this could just be it. I don't see how Hit 'em Up is going to be able to hold on to his base. Now it looks like Hit 'em Up getting ready to go for a timing attack on the natural here. Is there enough mech units to actually defend against this? +2 attack is not finished. And it's not even close to finishing. So this is once again a little bit of a mistimed fight here. But by moving out, it forces the Mutalisk to deal with it. And it allows him to take his 3rd command center, which gets him that all-important 3rd gas. Now, how is this engagement going to go? The tanks on the low ground going to be helping out against these Sunkens. There's a lot of Goliaths here, which is going to make it very difficult for the Mutalisk to engage, especially once Irradiate is done. But doesn't want to lose Goliaths to these Sunkens for sure. Now Chaelin getting ready. 1-1 is done, so these Goliaths aren't going to do too much, but still very good engagement on the Goliath side so far. The tank's getting ready to move in. The muteless count has actually dropped quite a lot. And Hit 'em Up is actually hitting a very strong timing here. 2-2 attack should actually come in very soon, so let's see how this engagement goes. The muteless coming in, is there going to be an irradiate? Yes, there is. It's not a great one, though. The pull away by Chaelin, very, very strong. There's not many tanks left alive, but there's still a lot of Goliaths. The mutelisks are starting to fall. Is Hit 'em Up going to have enough to hold on here? I don't know. It's so, so close. And I think it could just be a little bit too much Chaelin on this map and not enough of Hit 'em Up. But looks like a lot of the muteless are going to go down. One of the tanks, for the time being, does hold strong. All the mutas are going to fall, and this timing attack is still going to continue commencing. Looks like one of the vessels actually getting taken down there, and Hit 'em Up going to fall back. Both supplies very, very even, but Chaelin is up now to a 6th base. And that's when things get a little bit worse. Also, Edgewater, the fact they're sending you back to an office when we're still in the middle of a pandemic just shows how bad your company is. Just gonna say, if your bosses are watching, I don't know if they are, but they're idiots. Now looks like we are going to have a big push coming in here from Chaelin. I don't think there's going to be enough here from Hit 'em Up to be able to hold on. It Irradiate goes down, does absolutely nothing. And I think this could just be too little for Hit 'em Up now. Chaelin in such a good position. The tank on the high ground going to be helping out, but it doesn't matter. Hit 'em Up taps out. GG. And Chaelin secures the 4-0 sweep here for EF. Okay, so that was a 4-0 sweep there for EF. Pretty good. EF definitely proving how strong their roster is this season with the addition of Cruzago, Terra, and Gosudark. And Chaelin, as always, as with last season, she is very, very strong. She's one of the best female Zerg players in Korea as well. So really, really cool to see her play so well here in the STPL. A little bit unfortunate for aSh, who are definitely struggling a bit more again this season. But really, really nicely done. Now, we're going to be heading into our second series when we get back after this break. It's going to be IRK. Is it IRK? It's IRK versus DM, and it's coming up after this break. See you guys soon.